Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. Today, we're talking about a topic that affects millions of lives across the globe: gender inequality. Specifically, we'll talk about gender inequality in India. Despite the country's progress in many areas, this issue still remains a huge challenge. So, in this episode, we'll explore what gender inequality is, how it shows up in India, and why it continues to be a problem. Firstly, let's understand what gender inequality means. It basically means unfair treatment of people based on their gender. Usually, this means women and girls are treated unfairly compared to men and boys. So, gender inequality can show up in many ways, from differences in access to education and healthcare to lower wages, violence, and even limited political power. So, in simple terms, gender inequality happens when someone's opportunities in life are shaped by their gender instead of their abilities or hard work. And unfortunately, gender inequality is still a very real problem in India. Now, let's look at what gender inequality shows up in India. A country with rich history and diverse culture, there are several key areas where inequality is most visible. First, education. One of the biggest challenges women and girls face in India is access to education. Although the government has made efforts to promote education for girls, many families still prioritize the education of boys. So in rural areas, this can be more pronounced where girls may be more maybe kept at home to do household chores or married off at an early age. According to statistics, India has a gender gap in literacy, with men being more likely to be educated than women. Second, workplace inequality. When it comes to work, women in India often face a pay gap. Women are paid less than men for doing the same job, and they face more barriers in career advancements. Cultural expectations also play a role, as women are often expected to take care of their home and family, which limits the career opportunities for women. And third, violence and safety. Gender based violence is another serious issue. Everyday women face harassment, domestic violence, and even sexual assault. The kind of violence can take place in homes or on the streets or even in the workplace. Sadly, many cases go unreported, and women often feel unsafe in public spaces. And fourth, politics and leadership. Although there have been many women leaders like Indira Gandhi, who became the Prime Minister of India, women are still underrepresented in politics and leadership positions. The number of women in parliament and state assemblies is much lower than of men, and women often face resistance when they try to enter politics. So, why does gender inequality continue to be a problem even in today's world? First, cultural norms. Deep rooted cultural beliefs about gender roles is still shape how people view women and men in India. Many people believe that men should be the breadwinners and women should stay at home, raise their children, and take care of the household. These outdated views are passed down from generations to generation, making it harder to change things. Second, economic challenges. In many families, women are economically dependent on men, which limits their freedom and decision making power. So, this financial dependence can make it harder for women to leave abusive relationship or pursue their own career and educations. And third, lack of awareness. In rural areas, especially, where people may not have access to education or information, gender inequality can go unnoticed or be accepted as the norm. Many people may not realize that women have the same rights and opportunities as men, and they might not see anything wrong with the traditional gender roles. So, what's being done? Even though gender inequality remains a problem, there are many positive challenges happening in India. The government has launched programs like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Save the Girl Child, Educate the Girl Child, which aims to reduce gender based discrimination and promote education for girls. Non governmental organizations and women's rights activists are also working hard to raise awareness, support victims of violence, and promote women's participation in politics and leadership. Additionally, more women are speaking about their rights and taking on the roles of businesses, politics, and education. So, what is the role of the society here? But while the government and organizations are doing their part, society plays a huge role in creating change. Gender inequality isn't just about laws or policies, it's about changing mindsets. Each one of us can challenge outdated gender norms by encouraging girls to study and work, supporting women in leadership roles, and speaking out against violence and discrimination. If we all work together, we can make India a more equal place for both men and women. So, to wrap up, a gender inequality in India is a complex and deep rooted issue, but it's not something that can't be changed. By understanding its causes and supporting efforts for change, we can all contribute to a society where everyone, regardless of their gender, has the same opportunities to succeed and thrive. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. I hope this conversation encourages you to think about how we can contribute to a more equal world. And thank you guys for turning into today's episode. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and share the podcast with others. See you until next time.